Spaza shops belonging to foreign nationals were attacked once again in several townships in Gauteng over the past week. This was after a foreign national allegedly shot a local Spaza shop owner in Sharpeville. The attack on businesses is part of increasing incidents of criminality aimed at shops owned by people of African or Asian origin. It is unclear why a whole community of otherwise hardworking people who provide an essential service to the community gets lumped together and their livelihoods destroyed because one or two people are thought to have done something wrong. There have been all kinds of reports that school children have been poisoned by expired food they bought from foreign-owned Spaza shops. This has also led to wanton violence aimed at this vulnerable community. In this episode, I look at the phenomenon of xenophobia, which has gripped South Africa since we attained freedom in 1994. Hello everyone, welcome back to Joe Talks Politics. I am your host, Joseph Musia. Let's get right into it. It is not an exaggeration to say cities like Johannesburg were built on the backs of poor African men and women collected from all over the region to provide cheap labor in the mines, factories, farms, and even homes of this country. For years, they worked side by side with their South African counterparts, dying together in the harsh conditions of the mines and elsewhere. South Africans have always embraced these people and lived in harmony for years. People from Lesotho, Swaziland, Botswana, Malawi, Mozambique, Zimbabwe, and elsewhere did some of the menial jobs that South Africans shunned in the days when the economy was thriving and there were more jobs than workers. In fact, South African mining companies set up recruitment bureaus in those countries and transported workers to this country on the trains Hugh Masekela sings about in his song, Stimela.
There's a train that comes from Angola and Mozambique, from Lesotho, from Botswana, from Swaziland.
So what has gone wrong?
Why
Why have these people all of a sudden become such a nuisance that they are hunted down like rats? Why are they such easy targets? I have a few theories and you can tell me if you do not agree. The first is that having mismanaged the economy for more than 3 decades, the politicians have latched on to the suggestions that foreigners are to blame. They exploit xenophobia for their own gain, using anti-foreigner rhetoric to galvanize support. They often shift the blame for social issues onto foreign nationals, diverting attention from systemic problems that require genuine solutions. We've seen political figures stoke xenophobic sentiments during campaigns, playing on the fears of the public rather than fostering unity. Who can forget this diatribe from the then MEC for Health in Limpopo, Poppy Ramatuba, who has gone on to become the premier of that province?
You speak Shona, and then how do you find yourself in Vila and Malala when you are supposed to be with Munangago there? You know he doesn't give me money to operate you guys, and I'm operating with my limited budget.
Thank you so much, Rabbi.
Oh, well, you can't appreciate that. You're killing my health system. You are killing my health system. When you guys are sick, I'm hearing these days, you just say, let's cross Limpopo River. There's an MEC there who's running charity department. It's not.
This highlights the importance of responsible leadership. Our leaders must prioritize unity over division, promoting inclusivity rather than scapegoating vulnerable populations. But they are unlikely to, because for as long as we are preoccupied with blaming foreign nationals for our ills, we are not asking questions about them, the politicians. We are not looking at the 331 billion rands spent on bailing out state-owned enterprises between 2013 and 2023 alone. We are not talking about the 1.5 trillion rands lost to state capture. We are not talking about the billion rands a year that Ramaphosa's GNU cabinet will cost in benefits and perks. When we are chasing after foreign nationals, we are not asking why CEOs of the country's banks all earn a minimum of 90,000 rands a day, with the highest even earning over 450,000 rands a day in a country with so much poverty. We are not asking why 30 years into our democracy, villagers and school children still drown in pit latrines. This preoccupation means we are not asking why Fanima Semula is still in his job when police officers are involved in extortion rackets and cash-in-transit heists. My second theory is that those doing the looting are not ordinary citizens who buy 2 rand tea and sugar from the Spaza shop. Those people know and appreciate the value of the shop next door. In many cases, they have formed relations with the business people and can buy now and pay later. It is the criminal element that is always waiting to exploit any situation for their nefarious intentions. They loot the shops and steal the stock and sell it to the same community. These criminals thrive in chaotic situations because they can use the sometimes genuine complaints of ordinary citizens to advance their own agenda. High unemployment and poverty rates create intense competition for jobs and resources. Many locals perceive African and Asian foreign nationals as threats to their economic stability, fearing their livelihoods are at risk. Scapegoating foreigners will only distract us from addressing the root causes of crime and finding effective solutions. Now, let's consider why so many people choose to migrate to South Africa. Many individuals leave their countries due to war, violence, and persecution. Others seek economic opportunities and better living conditions. For many, South Africa is seen as a land of opportunity, a place where they can seek safety and a better future. It's crucial to examine the real causes of unemployment, poverty, and crime in our society. We face structural issues, including economic inequality stemming from historical injustices. Many South Africans lack access to quality education and job training, which limits their opportunities. The truth about migration, legal or illegal, is that it is often driven by desperation. They know when they leave their homes that they face many difficulties along the journey. They are aware that some who went before them came back in coffins. They have watched on television how migrants like them have been burnt alive and their belongings looted in South Africa. Yet they risk it all and still come in their thousands. There was a time in the early 2000s when the South African government, under then President Thabo Mbeki, adopted a policy of helping countries of the region resolve their problems peacefully so that their citizens are not forced to flee to other countries. South Africa was also actively involved in encouraging economic development around the region for the same reason. These policies, however, seem to have been abandoned. In closing, I urge all of us to approach the issue of immigration with empathy and understanding. We must recognize the need for inclusive policies that unite rather than divide our communities. Let's engage actively in community building efforts that acknowledge and celebrate contributions of all residents regardless of nationality. We need to, as a people, adopt a new attitude towards people from other parts of the world. Immigration is not going to go away. Our best hope is to look for ways in which we can all live in harmony, leveraging each other's strong points for our common survival. No amount of force will stop people from seeking a better life. The United States of America, a country with limitless financial and military resources, is failing to stop poor people from all over the world from walking in their thousands across its borders. Large numbers of African and Asian migrants die daily across the Mediterranean Sea in their desperation to get to the perceived better life in Europe. Together we can create a society where diversity is embraced and xenophobia has no place. Our image as a nation suffers when we treat those who seek our protection with cruelty. We cultivate an image of ourselves as heartless savages who are ready to unleash violence at the slightest irritation. We can surely treat others with more understanding and empathy, even if our reason for doing so is merely that they are fellow human beings in a difficult situation. If you enjoyed this episode, please hit the subscribe button. You can also like and comment on the episode. See you in the next one.